Welcome to the Insomnia Project. Sit back, relax, and listen as we have a subtle and calm conversation about the mundane. One thing that we promise is that our podcast will hopefully calm and relax you. At the very least, it will hopefully just ease your tension away, and who knows, maybe you'll find sleep. Thank you for joining us. I'm Marco Timpano, and joining me is someone you haven't heard for the last couple of weeks, but is always a favorite, Amanda Barker.
Hi, thanks for having me back.
Amanda, today we're going to talk about cities that have famous names but aren't necessarily in the location you expect them to be.
Is there a name for that type of city, like copycat?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So have you been to any cities that are famous but not in the place you expect them to be?
So I think what you mean is like London, England,
Yes.
and London, Ontario.
As a great example.
That's a pretty well-known example for us because London, Ontario, turns out also is, although not the city London, England is, it is its own thriving city. And so it's one we hear and have to explain a lot.
And we do work in London, Ontario often, and so it's about a 2-hour drive from Toronto. It's nothing like London, England, but it has its own charm for sure.
It does, and the similarities in naming doesn't stop there. I do believe they've called the river the Thames, have they not?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, so they and there's a London Bridge as well. In that London, and that might be where the similarities end. But I have been to many places that have the same name.
Just down the street from London, Ontario, is Stratford, Ontario.
That's right.
And it's home of a big theater Shakespeare festival, and it's not far from the town of Shakespeare as well.
That's right. And that's actually a really great place to start because Stratford, the reason that there is a Shakespearean festival there is because of its name. So it was obviously named Stratford, and of course we live in North America, and so many of our town names and place names are named in tribute to, I guess you would say, the original names for us, mostly in England.
Of course.
And some other places as well. But Stratford is a great example because here's a town near London, a particularly loyalist part of Canada where the United Empire Loyalists settled, after the American Revolution. And they were granted parcels of land for their allegiance to the king at that time.
Right.
And it's interesting because they named a lot of these towns. Of course, they had indigenous names, and many of those places still do. The Loyalists decided to name them in honor of
the king, England, their homeland.
That's right.
Places from where they came from.
That's absolutely right. And actually, a little more history on that. What often happened was they came over, the Pilgrims, etc., and then more people from the British Empire came, and they named so many of those towns in New England. Of course, it was New England.
Right.
So they named so many of those towns. Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Halifax, Dartmouth. I could keep naming them.
Sure, of course.
So many anyways. And then what happened was when they left, were asked to leave, exiled, whatever
sure.
version of history you read. Anyway, when they left, they then renamed so many of the places that they settled. So now these places have been named a third time. So
Sure.
Halifax would be a great example, or Portsmouth.
Mm-hmm.
Halifax, there's one in England, and then there's one in New England, and then there's one in Nova Scotia. And again, that's New Scotland, Nova Scotia.
Right, that's right.
So I'm trying to think of some others. There's so many. I'm from Hanover, Massachusetts.
Right, which there's a Hanover,
Germany, in fact. Yeah. And then there's a Hanover, New Hampshire, which is a bigger one. And then, so that was from the German settlers that came over.
We're in the province of Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever been to Ontario, California?
I don't think I have, but I've certainly heard about it.
We have friends who are often in that area of California, and I believe there's an airport there too, isn't there, Amanda?
I think so, yeah. There's Brunswick, and then New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Right.
And then, of course, New Brunswick became a province. New Jersey, in fact, was New Jersey.
Right.
Named after Jersey.
We have British Columbia.
Yeah, that's true as well. So anyway, I guess my point is simply that there's a lot of towns that were named in New England and then renamed in the Maritimes or in Ontario, depending where people settled.
Sure.
So London is certainly one of those. And then, of course, Stratford is one of those. And that festival happened, just to wrap my own thought up, that festival happened because they were trying to give the town some vitality. They were trying to find something that would increase tourism. And they said, well, we have this name, Stratford. Maybe enough people know that Shakespeare was born in Stratford-upon-Avon in England. And maybe, potentially, we can actually bring people to the town by having a little theater festival. And that little theater festival in, I believe, the 50s, late 50s, early 60s, of course, has blossomed into one of the premier theater destinations in the world, and certainly for Shakespeare.
Yes. All right, going back to the theme of famous places and not so famous areas versus, Stratford's wonderful theater festival. Have you ever been to Athens, Georgia?
I don't think I have, and I've always wanted to go because it is a college town and so many great bands and music came from there. Have you ever been?
I haven't. I think we drove
Did
near
we drive
it.
near
we drove
it?
near it, or
on our way to Savannah, potentially.
Yeah.
So I haven't been, I don't think. So we'll have to make that a destination at some point.
We recently went to Paris.
We did. We went to Paris.
City of Lights.
City of Lights. Paris, Ontario.
That's right. It's about an hour and a half drive away. And it's a small little charming town, actually.
It's quite pretty.
Yeah, on the river, but not on the Seine.
I was very excited to go to the Paris bakery. I was hoping for some pain au chocolat or a fresh baked croissant, and they were very lovely. But I got a pumpkin square and a butter tart. A little bit different.
A little bit different than the croissant that you were hoping for. Any other famous place names? I know there's a Rome in New York. New York, yeah.
Well, near where I did some of my growing up in New Brunswick, over the border, there was Calais, Maine, which is after the French Calais.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it's spelled the same, but of course in Maine, there is actually some French there, but they pronounce it Calais.
Tell me what it was like when you went to Bethlehem.
Which one? So Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, you mean?
Yes, because we never got to Bethlehem, Israel, did we?
Well, yeah, there's a story there.
Mm-hmm.
So the first Bethlehem I ever went to, and the only Bethlehem in the end, I thought I was going to go to the other one, was Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It is quite an interesting little town, and I was performing there for a week. And they have this, because Pennsylvania is steel country and there's so much steel manufacturing, a lot of it is no longer in operation. And Bethlehem has what they call the steel stacks, which is honestly a thing to behold, an immense steel structure, which was made out of steel and produced steel.
I see.
So it sits now defunct, but because it is such a sight to behold, it's not your average factory. I don't know another way to explain it. It's just all these tubes and this huge steel structure. They've actually built around it. They've kept it there. They've built around it. And one of the things that they've built is this sort of performance venue. And it has huge windows so that you can perform in it all year long. And it overlooks these huge stacks of steel.
Oh, wow.
So that's in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I believe Lehigh University is there as well, or Lehigh College. It's a university town for sure. It's a very interesting town. So anyway, I was doing a show there. Now, the big windows probably weren't the most appropriate thing for our show.
Sure.
So it made for an interesting week, certainly. And it was a dinner theater too. But that was Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, fun little town in Pennsylvania.
Let me take you to somewhere a little bit warmer, perhaps, a little bit more tropical.
Oh.
A little bit more cosmopolitan.
Okay.
Sydney, Nova Scotia. But you've been to Sydney as well, correct, in Australia?
I've never been to Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Oh,
I just never made it up to Cape Breton.
I thought you did. Sorry.
No, I think I did, but then I realized I haven't.
Okay.
You know when you live near a place your whole life, so you just assume you've been there, and then you realize you never have?
We drove the other way around Nova Scotia. We drove towards
the South Shore.
Yeah, the South Shore, Yarmouth, and back to Halifax.
And Yarmouth is another great example of Yarmouth, England, Yarmouth, Massachusetts, and then one more time, Yarmouth, Nova Scotia.
Right.
But so I've been to Sydney, Australia, but I actually haven't been to Sydney, Cape Breton, which is part of Nova Scotia. I have another one for you.
Okay.
Somewhere also pretty warm and beautiful on both ends. Naples, Florida.
Oh, yes, that's right. I didn't think of that. So arguably two of my favorite places, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
Naples, Italy, hustle and bustle and musical and really gritty but interesting, fascinating.
When it comes to managing money, forget the hype and look at the results. Bill has $1 trillion of secure payments powering our bill pay tools. Instead of just moving money, Bill is powering the financial operations of nearly 500,000 customers. So stop the guesswork and start scaling with the proven choice. Ready to talk with an expert? Visit Bill.com/proven to get started. And grab a $250 gift card as a thank you. Terms and conditions apply. See offer page for details.
And then I went to Naples, Florida, and I thought it was going to be very typical to the other places I've been to in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so charming and wonderful and had great restaurants and beautiful beaches. And I just had a great sunny time in both Naples.
It's a beautiful town.
Yeah.
We really love Naples. And of course, it's near
Marco Island.
Which is why we went.
That's right.
We specifically went so you could be Marco on Marco Island.
Well, it's funny because, growing up, I always heard of this little island in Florida that bore my name. And so as a child, you're fascinated by this place that would have your name. And in your mind, you picture it to be, I don't know what. So for years, I kept telling you, you never take me to Marco Island. And one year you said, okay, guess where I'm taking you?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, maybe.
And we went, and it was delightful.
It was delightful, yeah. I was doing a show in Tampa, and after we wrapped, we just got in the car and drove, and off to Marco Island and to Naples we went. Yeah, it was a beautiful time.
Sure.
Yeah, it might be one of my favorite places in Florida. So now I'm trying to think of other places that I've been that match up with both, like having been to the original and then having been to the,
or even just places that have that duality, even if you haven't been. I'm sure there's people listening right now who are shouting out different names.
I know.
Of places.
Well, I hope not. I hope there, or maybe somewhere in their brain there are. Calais was the one that came to mind, which is funny because there really isn't much to do in Calais. But I do know that going through England, certainly, you see all the original names of all the places that you know.
Toledo? Have you been to Toledo,
Ohio?
Well,
Toledo, Ohio I've been to, but what's the original?
Toledo, Spain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was I mean, it makes sense. It sounds Spanish.
Yeah.
Where in Spain is it?
We almost were going to drive through it at one point when we were
Okay.
thinking of driving through Spain. And I'm not exactly sure. It's not on the coast, I don't think. But
Okay.
I know that Klinger from MASH, who was played by Jamie Farr, was from Toledo, Ohio. And so because I watched a lot of MASH and as a kid, how could you not fall in love with Klinger? He was such a fun character
Right.
that he, always remained in my mind. And now I have a desire. I've always had this desire to go to Klinger's hometown, which is so funny because it's a fictional character. But, have you been to Toledo, Ohio?
Oh, Toledo, Ohio. I have. Yeah, I actually did a show there. Yeah. I found another one though.
Okay.
I knew I had heard of a Madrid somewhere in the States. So there's a Madrid, New Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we haven't been to New Mexico
No, we
yet, so
haven't.
we're gonna have to put that
On our list.
on our list. But I do think. Oh, I know another one we've been to.
Just to answer your question, Toledo's like if you took a pin, that's why I remember it, and sort of eyeballed it to the center of Spain.
Yeah.
That's where you would your pin would end up, pretty much in Toledo or near Toledo.
Do you remember another place we went to in Ohio? We went to a wedding there.
Oh,
You were-
okay. Okay, I was thinking Erie, Pennsylvania, but no.
No,
Okay.
and it's named after a much bigger and more famous city. Although
my
this
goodness.
place is well known in Ohio anyway.
The only thing that's coming to my mind, and I know it's not the place, but you know how a lot of cities have Germantown? Mm-hmm. That's what's coming to me, but it's not.
Like a Frankenmuth. Or,
Yeah. But even like Detroit, I think doesn't Detroit or near Detroit have a Germantown that you drive past?
Frankenmuth
No, Frankenmuth is Frankenmuth.
is near
Isn't-
Detroit.
No, Frankenmuth is in Michigan. Is in
Detroit
sorry.
is also
But-
in Michigan.
No, I know. Sorry, I meant to say. I meant to say Frankenmuth is near another city.
Well, anyway,
okay.
this is not Michigan. This
Okay.
is Ohio.
Right,
So
right.
wrong wedding. This is a wedding we went to in Ohio. Do you remember the wedding we went to in Ohio?
No, I don't. I do remember it. I don't remember where it was.
Okay, so it was in Geneva, Ohio.
That's right. That's right.
But I think it's called Lake Geneva, or let me just look here.
Oh, yes,
Or
'cause it was-
Geneva on the lake, because it's on a lake. It's on Lake Erie, but they call it Geneva, Ohio.
Right. And the funny thing about Geneva, Ohio is, or not the funny thing.
Yeah, Geneva on the lake is what they officially
Okay.
call it. Yeah.
The interesting thing about Geneva, Ohio, is that it is sort of surrounded by vineyards. You can go on a bunch
That's
of wine
right.
tours.
We had some of that wine.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd like to go to the real Geneva.
Sure, but I don't think Geneva, Switzerland is known for its wine. So,
Probably
so
not.
I think your wine might be better served in Ohio. My goodness. I'm
There's
just trying
a
to
lot
think.
of other French towns too.
Sure.
I think that, especially in Michigan.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I just think it's so interesting, when you can say to someone, "Oh, I'm going to Paris for the weekend," and you're just driving an hour and a half away. It's always so funny to me. So I found that interesting. These famous place names in areas that you don't necessarily expect them to be.
Absolutely, yeah. There's also Holland, Michigan. I've been there, but now we're getting into countries.
Sure. There's a Holland Marsh not far from
here.
Not far from here, yeah.
And then, of course, Quebec would have a lot of French place names as well. That would be the same in France.
Sure.
But I always think it's funny when you see like a French place name somewhere that ended up being English. And Maine does have a lot of those, but Calais is the one I always think of. But there's
Sure.
lots of them, actually. I'm trying to think of a few others.
There's I'm sure there's a Lyon in other places as well. I feel like I've seen it on the map quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And so I know that Kitchener, Ontario, was formerly Berlin, and they changed the name at World War II. They
That's
changed it.
true.
But it was Berlin for
yeah,
years
it was
and years.
controversial
Yeah.
to have a town named Berlin, so they changed it. And right next to Kitchener, of course, is Waterloo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And Waterloo is, although it probably is pronounced differently in Belgium
I don't know.
because it's a Belgian
Sure.
name, hence the Napoleonic Wars. But yeah, Waterloo, but it's actually always called Kitchener Waterloo.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you have a jacket that says Waterloo on
I
it.
do. I won it. I love that jacket. So thank you to all who are listening, who are involved in that wonderful Waterloo Library event, because I still am wearing my jacket. There's also, I've been to Brussels, Illinois.
Okay.
Speaking of Belgian place names, it was not like Brussels.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, well, I've never been to Brussels, but I don't think Brussels, Illinois was like Brussels. And I'm trying to think of a few others. Antwerp, Ohio, I've been to.
What about this? Kansas City, Kansas,
Right.
and right across the river, Kansas City, Missouri.
It's really confusing. Even when you're there, it's confusing.
I just wonder how do the people who live in either place identify which KC they're at?
And the bigger one is actually Missouri. That's the funny part. Like it's like people in Missouri couldn't think of anything else to call their city, so they just stole the closest city's name, which was Kansas City.
So great.
It's very confusing. I'm trying to just look. I know there's a Toronto, Kansas as well.
Oh, is there really?
There is.
Oh, I didn't know
there's
that.
a Toronto. It's not very big, but there is. There is one. And there's also, what's interesting too is there's a lot of place names that have since changed their name. Like there's Peking, Illinois,
Right.
which was out of Peking, but is of course now Beijing.
So it's still Peking, Illinois,
Yeah.
but it's no longer.
Yeah.
We now say Beijing.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Well, it's interesting how names of places also change as people sort of learn to pronounce them in their original language. Because I know growing up, everyone would refer to Torino as Turin, right?
Right.
Like the Shroud of Turin.
Right.
And then after the Olympics in Torino, everyone seemed to be calling it Torino. So it's really fascinating when you see names of places change as the years go on.
Illinois seems to have a lot. I'm not sure what it was about Illinois or Chicago, if it was wishful thinking. There's also a Cairo, Illinois. There's also Lidice, Illinois, but it's called Ledice, Illinois. There's so many places in Illinois. Shanghai City, Illinois
Oh, wow.
is a place.
Sure.
They just love naming their place names, or whoever got to name them, I guess.
We drove to a San Marino in Florida, remember?
I think so. Where was it?
That was near Jacksonville. No, San
Okay.
Marco. It was San Marco.
There's also Chateauguay, New York.
Oh,
Which
I
is-
don't know
which
what
is a
the
place-
original is.
Well, in France. French is the other one because there was so much French settlers, same as England, right? So there's a Bordeaux, Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot. Chantilly, Missouri. Monton, Texas. Monton is right next to Monaco, where I
is
used
it?
to live.
Okay.
Yeah, the original one.
Is it one of the more exclusive areas of southern France?
I suppose. I
Okay.
suppose it is. I don't know if it's one of the more exclusive areas of Texas, but
Texas or Montana?
Texas.
Oh, okay.
There's in Monton, Texas. And there's a lot of Parises. There's Paris, Ontario, which we mentioned. There's also Paris, Arkansas. Paris, Illinois. They had to have one.
Of course.
Paris, Maine. Yes, I do remember Paris, Maine. That's right. Paris, Texas.
Oh, Paris, Texas, of course. There's
Yeah.
even a film called Paris, Texas.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So there's quite a few, right? It's just it's amazing to me, just so many place names. But I guess it was like also German. When you get into the German,
Sure, of course.
there's a Munster, Texas.
There's a Heidelberg. I don't know if it's in Texas, but I know there's a Heidelberg in I want to say, is it Illinois? Heidelberg. There's a Heidelberg
I
anyways.
think so.
Yeah, okay.
There's a Cologne, Illinois. And there's also a Frankfurt, Illinois.
Oh, yes, Frankfurt. Isn't one of the capitals of one of the states Frankfurt?
Frankfurt?
Yeah, isn't
Oh, really?
it,
North Virginia? One of the Virginias?
no, Frankfurt.
Norfolk. I'm not sure.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, while you're thinking of that, let me list you all the Berlins that didn't change their name in World War II.
Okay.
There's Berlin, Wisconsin, Berlin,
Right.
New York, which I've heard of, Berlin, Georgia, Berlin, Pennsylvania, and Berlin, Connecticut. There's quite a few Berlins. We forget about all the German settlers, all the Ulster. Weren't they called the Ulster? Or no, those are the Ulster Scots. Anyhow, at the turn of the century.
Frankfurt is the capital of Kentucky.
Oh, is it?
Frankfurt. So it's
But-
not Frankfurt, it's
But
Frankfurt.
a lot of them are named after those places. It's just the names, the spelling sort of changed
Sure.
by the time they wrote anything down, right?
What about twin cities? You know how you have a city and it has its
Oh,
twin
yeah.
city?
Yeah. What does Toronto have a twin city?
It does. It has a few.
Really?
Yeah, I think Amsterdam is one of them.
Really?
And then there's a bunch of more obscure ones.
We should go to all the twin cities. But I remember Vaughan always had one. Going into Vaughan.
That's right.
But what were they?
I think Vaughan is where I grew up. That's why Amanda's saying I think I'm Vaughan.
Because we've been to.
I think there's two. I think
Oh.
it's Monte Cassino in Italy and somewhere in Poland.
Do you want to hear ours? I never knew this about Toronto. Are you ready?
Yeah, and we're going to end with this, Amanda, because we've got to the end of the episode.
There's
Okay.
3 twin cities
Okay.
of Toronto. Do you want to guess the 3 twin
Okay,
cities?
I guessed Amsterdam. Am I correct?
No.
Okay, well, there you go.
Do you want to guess the other 2?
No, because I'll probably get them wrong. I was so sure Amsterdam was one of them. So
Okay. I mean, you could just pick 2 cities.
okay, I'll pick Warsaw, Poland,
Okay.
and I'll pick Manchester, England.
Those are great suggestions. And Manchester, by the way, is another place that there's about 1 million Manchesters.
Manchester by the sea?
Yeah, in Massachusetts, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Sure.
There's a Manchester, I believe, in Nova Scotia. And, of course, there's Manchester.
Which I want to go to Manchester.
In England, yeah.
I'm so wanting. Next time we're in the UK, let's go to Manchester.
Okay,
Because
I would love to do that.
Okay,
All that music
Yes.
from the 80s. Let's go back in time
for sure.
and go listen to the music. Anyway, I'm sure there's great music now. Here we are. This is the big reveal. It's all
Okay.
leading up to this. Toronto's friendship twin cities are Ho Chi Minh City,
Okay, I didn't know
Vietnam, Kyiv.
that. Kiev?
I don't think it's Kiev. Kyiv.
I think that's how they...
Oh, is that how they
yeah,
spell it?
I
Okay,
think-
so Kiev, Ukraine,
Okay.
and Quito, Ecuador.
Oh, my goodness.
I know, and I've not been to any of those, so we'll have to. Now that's a new goal, a new thing to strive for and dream about.
Well, there you go. I hope at this point you're dreaming, whether it be about places, cities, or just slumbering away. I want to thank you for listening, Amanda. This has been a delight talking about cities and places that we love.
Absolutely. It's been a delight for me, too. Quito, Ecuador. Who knew?
Who knew? Well, as always, we're recording from Toronto, which is twin cities with Quito, Kiev, and Ho Chi Minh City. And wherever you are, we hope that you are doing very well and having a great day, afternoon, or evening.
And no matter what time of day, if this is what you're wanting to do, I hope you do listen and sleep.